Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. We are here. We are live. Views from the 22 live on the scene. Mo Schefter, Big Junior, Germ So True. We're going to give people about 2 minutes to settle in, get the popcorn ready, get their chips, get their sandwiches, get whatever. Fellas, I am excited for today. I just came back from the grocery store. I went and picked up my espresso coffee right here, ready to go. I got 2 big bags of barbecue chips. I bought me a 24 count Hawaiian roll sliders. I'm gonna make me some deli sliders that I picked up from a friend of mine. Shout out to my boy, Mr. Stingy. And then I also got some popcorn and M&Ms just in case by the end of the night, I'm no longer feeling the proteins. I want a little carbs and sugar just before I go to bed because that's a good idea. Vic Jr., talk to the people.
Yeah, man. Just excited for this game. For these 2 games, actually, should be very good entertainment. Going to mom's house after this.
Nice,
she
nice.
apparently is cooking for everybody. My brother gonna have the TV set up and everything. So, we're gonna do that. I ain't have to do no cooking today, so I can relax, sit back, and watch the Hooray Nation. Shout out to Category 5 who just entered the chat. They're doing his prayers on Views. For anybody who has not become a member of the Views crew is watching right now, go to the Views from the 22 on Facebook, and you'll see Josh's prayer might be the first thing you see, first thing you post.
Josh got a prayer.
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta watch.
He did the Psalms. He did the Psalms 23. He did miss like 5 verses, but it's all right.
Nice.
I'll excuse him. Shout out to Category 5, man. I'm just excited for him and the Cincinnati Bengals nation. This has been an incredible, fun ride. Baby Goat, as I like to call him now, is just fun to watch, and I'm excited to see what they do today, man.
Agreed. Germ So True. You ready to roll?
Well, we ready to roll, but I just will say this as we open up the floodgates of this football weekend. This is sad because this is one of the last football weekends of the year, so it's always sad. However, we have had quite a few pleasant surprises going through the news this week that we're going to discuss real quick. There are some hires here. There's some retirements and some trolling going on here.
Yes.
So
yes, let's get into it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's get into it. So, sharing the link now in the group. So let's get the first one out the way because it's the one I'm going to spend the least amount of time on. Obviously, the GOAT. There is growing speculation, according to multiple sources, that he is going to retire. Simply put, for me, I am going to wait till I hear it from the GOAT's mouth, as they say. That ain't the phrase, but that's the phrase we're going to go with. The only thing I'm going to say, if Tom Brady retires this year indeed, you could talk about family, you could talk about football, you could talk about decline, which if you think he's declining, please don't ever watch football with me. To me, it's going to come down to one thing. He is unhappy with the football environment. I got one more thing to say about this, but I'm going to wait till we get to the championship game predictions because it's relevant. But until we hear it from the GOAT's mouth, I'm going to hold everything else. And if he does retire, in my opinion, Vic, it's because he's unhappy with the football environment because he definitely got one more year in him. Your thoughts?
No, I mean, I totally agree. I don't have much to say right now, especially that, with everything going on yesterday, how there was an announcement, but then there was saying, that he's currently abroad right now with family. They're enjoying their vacation.
Yes.
And he did not make an announcement. I don't have much thoughts about it right now.
Breaking news coming up. I'm sorry. Breaking news coming up.
Go ahead. Throw that
Somebody go get April. No, finish. Somebody go get April. Go ahead. Go get Vic Domino. So go get Charles Slim Hughes. Go ahead.
I don't have much to say about it either. The man, you said 1 year. He's got like 3 years. Based on what I see physically, some of the my experiences and what I see in athletes, The arm strength is there. The footwork is still there. The mind is clearly still nice, healthy, and young. He's got a good 3 or 4 years left in him, if that. So, I got nothing else to say. Go ahead, Jerm, if you want to speak on it.
Yeah, go ahead, Jerm, because we got breaking news coming up.
Man, look, y'all see my attitude, my demeanor. Nonchalant Jerm is here today, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, for real, man. Like, people want to see him retire for certain reasons. One of the reasons why is so everybody else can have opportunity, have a shot. The margin for error, obviously, when he relieves the game, goes from here to here. That's why people want to see him retire. So people like Aaron Rodgers, people like Pat Mahomes, people like, all of these other guys are going to get better opportunities and more opportunities once he leaves. That's just kind of where it goes. We're talking about a situation where a guy has been to, 15 AFC and NFC championship games in 22 seasons. We're talking being a positive record in everything. The man has a full season of records in these championship games. And we're talking being 12-4, 13-4, something like that. So it's like, y'all got to understand, this player has done so much in this respective sport. He is the most winning entity in professional football.
Mm-hmm.
And not only to mention that, he is part of 6 New England Patriots rings in the last 22 years.
Yeah.
And 1 of the Tampa Bay's 2 rings in the last 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about a guy who's a part of 7 of 22 rings, and that's not including the Super Bowls that he's been to, with him being a part of 10 of those. So you're talking 10 championship Sundays. I guess it's just a lot, man. You gotta. I got it.
There's so we could spend a whole hour just listing his accomplishments before we list the actual perspective. Again, if you're just tuning in, welcome. I see the numbers going up. Welcome. We touched base on Tom Brady briefly. Overall consensus by us is, if he's done, he ain't got nothing left to prove, but he definitely has more football in him. If he does retire, it is because he is unhappy with the football environment. Let's get to some of the breaking news. As I promised, the Raiders, about 27 minutes ago, agreed to hire an executive, but from the Patriots, an executive who was a key part in rebuilding this roster over the last 2 seasons. And they have just hired long time offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels as their head coach. Josh McDaniels finally back in that head spot. He's got a very just controversial history as a head coach, from Denver and everything that happened there, and then accepting the Indy job and not accepting the Indy job and all that. Fellas, a lot to get into, according to what we heard and read. Apparently, McDaniels came in there with a playbook and plays and everything ready, designed around Derek Carr. And it apparently blew the Raiders away. They knew they had their guy. We'll see how it translates to the football field. Vic, I'll start with you on this.
Yeah.
You're the highest on the Raiders amongst us, which, there's nothing wrong with it. Just, I understand why you think they have a good roster, and they do have a bright future. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. So give me your thoughts on this hire.
No, it's first and foremost, I mean, shout out to Josh. He's clearly learned how to be fully prepared. Be able to present himself. For him to come to them with all that information and things like that, to have something around Derek Carr is basically letting them know that he sees him as the future quarterback and somebody that he wants to keep around. And that's good for the Raiders, at least for the next few years. So shout out to him for that. The EMP system, it's a system that we talk a lot about, and how, impressive and how complex it is. The idea is Derek going to be ready for a system like that. That remains to be seen. Josh, 1 year with Mac Jones, said that, I guess he said it's time for him to move on to bigger things. And, so that's going to be exciting. I think they're going to use Darren Waller very well in that system. And especially Hunter Renfrow. All right, let's not forget about him. So that should be fun. That should be fun. And I mean, that's all I have on that. We'll be able to break it down a little bit more as next season goes along.
Well, you brought up the Darren Waller point. That was one of the things highlighted on the Twitter in the tweet is that one of the things he presented was using a 2 tight end system more and making Darren Waller really be the centerpiece. So, hey, I mean, he interviewed well. I've had guys interview well and then they don't know how to put a truck in reverse. I've had a person not know answer one question properly, but they spin that wheel properly. Go ahead, Jerm. So true. Your thoughts on the situation?
I mean, this is a show me type of hire for me. Show me what you're gonna do, because if Josh comes in and they get all of this stuff together and they do all of this stuff and they still don't get nowhere, I'm gonna start asking more questions, because then I'm gonna start saying, so you did all of this stuff just for Derek, and here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the situation at hand where we don't know what's gonna happen. We really don't know yet, because Oakland still has I say Oakland all the time. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep saying Oakland.
Hey.
Oakland. Y'all ain't earned no, because y'all ain't a show yet. So y'all can't be Las Vegas. Oakland is in a situation where they have to do certain things defensively. We got to bring in linebackers. We got to get some better players in the secondary. We have to continue to work on what we have and build off of the pass rush that we do have with Max Crosby and Cleveland Farrell. Cleveland Farrell has to step up, has to become a little bit better player, or you're going to have to use him more in 3-tech roles and pass rushing downs to try to get the value for him that you're trying to use for him. Offensively, we still can always improve the offensive line. They can always get better there. And most importantly, I think the thing is, people think that receivers mean so much. Receivers like Zay Jones have been a part of winning teams everywhere they've went. So it's not that you need the names. It's not that you need all of that stuff. You, at the most important position, is the quarterback. Derek has to elevate them in some type of way during these stretches in these big games, and he hasn't been doing that. He hasn't shown up to be consistent, and consistency is key, especially when we're trying to come down the stretch. So with that being said, I don't care what McDaniels comes in and offers. It's ultimately about the players executing it. You can get the best offensive coordinator in the world, but execution is going to be key. And this is the same problem he had in Denver. The same problem he had in Denver is he couldn't get them to execute the way he was executing in New England. So obviously, he has to go in and he has to establish a new, more balanced, more player-friendly environment and culture. And he has to open up the floodgates and get rid of all of that bad juju that's been in that building for all of these years. We got to cleanse this building. The Raiders need to be cleansed, and then they can start to win. Cleanse and win, and then you can get in. And that is the proverbial playoffs.
Yeah. Ultimately, the first thing that we've been talking about for months now is how much control he's going to have. That's number one. And then number two, again, at the end of the day, we could talk about all these the Bill Belichick tree and where these guys go. They weren't successful. At the end of the day, they didn't have the quarterback that Tom was. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like you said, the quarterback position is number one. What is Derek Carr going to get out of this system? What are they going to get out of him? And if not, Josh can move on when he's ready. If he's given that control, give him one season. Does he show that he's developing in that role with that system? If he doesn't, then you draft a quarterback. That's all. Yeah. That's all it is for me. Yeah. How much control is he going to have, and ultimately, who is throwing that football for you? All right, because at the end of the day, you can't expect Charlie Weiss to move on or anybody else to move on if they don't have the quarterback play to execute the system.
Yeah. So, fellas, I'm gonna do something a little different here. We're going to talk about some more hires, but instead of doing that right away, let's transition a little bit. We are here for 2 big games, so let's at least take about the next 5 to 10 minutes to touch on some things about these football games, if y'all don't mind. We could start with the 3:00 game, Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs. Over/under in that game is 54. Chiefs, fellas, 7-point favorites. Obviously, we're talking about the quarterbacks a lot. So let's before we talk about the quarterbacks, okay, let's talk about their weapons. Let's talk about what is at the arsenal of these quarterbacks. So, might be an more intriguing question than you think here. quarterbacks aside, which two pieces, if you had to take two players, you can only take two players, okay? But you got to take them from the same team. Are you taking them from the Chiefs or are you taking them from the 49ers?
And these two players that we're taking them for what? What are we doing?
Your offense. Quarterbacks aside.
Oh, from the same team? Man, look, I stand on mines.
I know you do. I know you do.
Give me Joe and Jamar. They're winning.
Quarterbacks aside,
bro.
Quarterbacks aside.
I'm talking about mixing.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
There's another Joe.
Wow.
There's another Joe in the building.
Joe Mixon
Wow.
and
There's another Joe in the
Chase.
building.
I'm gonna explain why.
Wow.
Those two players are winning players. I'm not saying that Travis and Tyreek aren't, but when Joe and when Jamar are in the mix and they are heavy involved in this offense is unstoppable. It just is what it is because you got Jamar that is literally causing all types of rifts between pieces in the secondary. You also get Joe doing things in the screen game. You get Joe out of the backfield. You get Joe being an effective runner. As good as Tyreek and Kelsey is, because everybody's going to take Tyreek and Kelsey for the most part. And the reason why you're going to take them is because they do so much in the passing game. But these guys do the same things in the passing game. You just get a running back who does more than the receiver does. And then you also get a receiver that is better than Jamar is the best receiver in this young group that we have in the league right now at blocking downfield, finding ways to seal edges so Joe can get around him. There have been plays that you're going to see he's going to be down the field blocking and Joe's running right behind him and he's having fun doing it. These guys are winning players. The Cincinnati culture changed moments after drafting guys like Jamar Chase. And it's just a difference. He's a difference maker. I believe that Kansas City's biggest advantage is the speed that they have. These guys don't need great speed to be effective because they're effective in every asset and every facet of the offense. If you need a jet sweep, you can run it with Jamar. If you need a 5-yard slant, you can run it with Jamar consistently because at the line of scrimmage, it doesn't matter if you hit him. This isn't Tyreek Hill where you can hit him and knock him off his route a little bit. This is somebody who's moving people. So give me, I'm standing on mine. Give me Odell Landry and give me Joe Mixon, Le'Veon Bell 2.0. Let's go.
I mean, I guess just real quick before we go to Vic, is your value more in Mixon or your value more in Jamar? Or is
the value is always more in the running back? Because the
okay.
running back does more.
I like it.
Does more for your offense. Because remember, running back and tight ends are the closest to the quarterback.
Sure.
So ironically, running back and the tight end are the two pieces here that are going to be interchangeable. And then you have Jamar and Tyreek, the two receivers. So it's so interesting and it's intricate because you can't go wrong either way, technically. So if you try to act like Kelsey and Tyreek are above them, where? Because you can't say that Tyreek is definitively a better route runner than Jamar Chase. You can't say that. Because we can show you no wasted steps on a pivot where he just turns around and he's hey Joe, I'm right here, bro. You see how I'm rhyming and everything. Hey Joe, right here, bro. And Joe's like, oh yeah, here you go. It's different.
Yeah.
And Tyreek and me and Vic talk about it all the time. Tyreek's speed is just different.
Yeah, it is 100%.
His speed is different. So it's like, what do you do when 10 blows down on you? Kind of.
Yeah.
When he's even, remember Randy Moss talk that John Madden used to always say, shout out to John Madden.
He's leaving.
He's leaving.
Yeah.
Man, listen, when he get up on you, he getting up off you. This is why it's twos. So peace out.
I hear you. I don't know why you said you and Vic. I don't think there's anybody not talking about Tyreek Hill's speed. It's a different level.
We talk about for the offense, for that Chiefs.
It's a whole different level.
It gives it that's what opens up so many.
Well, all right. Well, you better include me in that. I can I ain't.
He's saying include him
recently.
I'm saying Vic. Anyways, Vic, listen. Let me get your lab perspective on this Diaki way. Who you taking?
Offense, you said just offense?
Just offense, two pieces.
Yeah. I mean, so, Germ went with the Bengals kids, of course he would. So I'll go on the Chiefs side. And I'll also go a little bit different. I'll go with, of course, I'll take Tyreek Hill, and I'll take Creed Humphrey, the center for the Chiefs right now. This is a rookie center. What? You said offense. I'm not gonna say Travis. Everybody's gonna pick Travis.
I'm talking skill players, Vic.
Oh, my bad. No, so of course. It's Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce.
The assignment.
Yeah, I guess I did it. We all talk about it. The speed is different, and again, I talk about some of Pat Mahomes, some of the things that I have questions for in terms of Pat. That speed and that route running by Travis Kelce is just impressive. One of the best route runners I've seen since Jason Witten at the tight end position. When it comes to Tyreek Hill's speed, as we can see in that play that deep over where he scored and gave the peace sign, you have on the right side, you have two double posts, which took both safeties over the top. Tyreek over the deep over right under that. You can't cover it. You can't, play that one-on-one, and he was able to score. I mean, that is a significant help for any quarterback in the league. But again, shout out to Pat for seeing these things, for throwing the ball accurately. He is in the pocket more as the season goes along. He has been better in the pocket, especially in high-pressure situations. So, I mean, shout out to all three of those guys. They have been an impressive show to watch, and that's going to be big for the Bengals to try to contain like they did during the season.
I think this is a tough question, and that's why I asked it, and I was curious which way either of you gentlemen would go. I kind of had a feeling Jerm was going to stand with his boys and that you were going to take Kelce and Hill. I don't know if you did it just to be different, Vic. I'm going to have to go I can't decide, to be honest with you, but the only reason I will give Kelce and Hill the advantage is because I think Kelce is is the most valuable player of these four pieces we're talking about. Yep. Not saying I'm right or wrong on that matter, just my perspective on it from me building my offense. Kelce is most valuable to me. And then when we talk about Tyreek Hill, that's Steph Curry. You know what I mean? You gotta defend the bucket no matter where he is on the court. And so
here's a quick thing, right? Because if you see the mic'd up version of that play where he went up the middle and they were able to get the field goal.
Yes.
If it wasn't for the TV timeout,
yes,
it would have been hard to translate that to the quarterback. But because of these stupid TV timeouts that they get 2 minutes to stand on the TV on the field, I'm sorry, Mo, it's the truth. Okay, they get to stand on the field. He goes over to Pat. Look, Pat, they're playing off me right now. The seam is open. You know what I'm saying? So they were then you could hear Pat get to the line of scrimmage and say, "Do it, Kelce, do it." And sure enough, they were able to get it done. That communication between them and that intelligence that he has, and the route running is just, a 20-yard gain later. I mean, so impressive stuff. Fun stuff to watch.
For those of you who may not be sure of what Vic was talking about, when the Chiefs had 13 seconds left last week against the Bills, that first play, when they threw that little screen to Tyreek Hill, he took it, I think, 25 yards, which Jerm was like, "Hey, man, they need 25 yards on this first play." Pat was like, "I got you." Pat must have been in the DC.
I did say that, though.
You did, though.
45 yards is nothing to this team, dog.
It's dumb. It's just
I know everybody keeps saying 13 seconds, bro, but 13 seconds, 3 timeouts, and that type of speed.
Did y'all see the video? Did y'all see the video of that little kid talking to his family? Talking about, come on, guys, you guys are giving up hope, and there's 13 seconds left.
No, I didn't. Come on, guys.
And then they score, and he goes crazy.
You gotta send that one. You gotta send that one. But what Vic was talking about is when they had the TV timeout, Kelce went to Mahomes and said, "Hey, if they play it like that seam is open." They got to the line.
They stand in position during the TV timeout, so the defense gave away what was gonna happen, bro. What is,
I think he was talking about the way the secondary was lined up.
Yes, they were already lined
the
up.
previous
He's saying what Vic is saying, bro, is they stood in the position that they were going to stay in. So they
you
gave away
saying
the competitive advantage.
Yes,
or
bro.
whatever the
You've been
case
to a
is.
game.
I
If
thought
you
he was
watch-
saying the previous play.
No, bro. They gave away the competitive advantage. Like they literally went out there and just stood there. So you gave it away, and then like, yo, y'all, we want to keep talking about Buffalo giving it away.
Better.
That's more of an intricate detail that people didn't see. That's more important than the 13 seconds.
Facts.
That's more important than the 13 seconds. Bro, if you're Travis Kelce, if you're Mecole Hardman, if you're Tyreek Hill, and you see somebody playing that far off you, and you know that you can give them an outside head fake, get them to flatten up or open their hips in the other direction.
And I think if you talk about details,
listen, I don't run a 4.7, and I tell you this: if I get you to open your hips, you dead meat. It's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do, bro.
Jim walk out there right now, run a 4.4.
Nah, I ain't running a 4.4.
I think listen, the best part of that, Vic, you talk about details, is when Pat told Kelce, "Hey, do it," Kelce took a couple more steps inside.
Yes.
You know, like he had to reset his alignment because there was a guy in motion, I believe. But regardless, he moved inside, made sure his alignment was right, and then boom, it's like if I was playing Madden, that would be my game plan, not real life AFC divisional game.
Yeah.
But hey, what can you do?
No, yeah, like I said, if you've been to an actual game, you'll see during the TV timeouts, they're either huddled up or the defense is already lined up on what they're gonna kind of not necessarily do, but they're already out in their position. So if you see Kelce on the mic'd up, he's like, "Hey, 15. It looks like he's gonna be off."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'll rub the seam is open. So little things like that.
They definitely are doing things that on their side is going to be a competitive advantage. But I'm telling y'all, man, Jamar and Joe don't even talk.
Yeah.
They feel like that's instinctual connections.
Yeah.
Like when you see Joe make a throw down the field and you see Jamar just, I'm like, wait, hold on. Did you feel like I want to ask I want to interview them and say, hey, do y'all just feel this thing? Y'all feel y'all way through the game, huh? That's how y'all do. That's how we do it. We earn our feelings.
They have walkie-talkies or something.
So
like it's different, bro. This
is different.
This is so fun.
April,
This is
shout out to everybody in the comment section.
April,
if
in the
just
comments.
Joining us, in case you haven't missed it, touched on the Brady thing. We said, we're just gonna kind of wait and see. But if he's done, I salute. We talked about Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler getting hired by the Las Vegas Raiders. So shout out to the Patriots system. Maybe now Derek Carr can have
see how many free agents they bring
in his career, because he has had none to this moment. April, with the breaking news that we broke about 35 minutes ago, fix your internet, April. I'm sorry, I just feel like picking on Raiders Nation today, as I do most Sundays. But today is a great day to troll the Raiders. Anyways, Josh Storms is in there preaching what he's preaching. Miss First Lady, as always. Hello to you, Tanya. Dennis in there. Big Shot in there. Shout out to everybody. Jorge in there. KG, always one of the first. Similar question, fellas, here. We're talking about, we haven't even talked about the quarterbacks yet. We are talking about the AFC Championship game today. And then we're going to get back to the hires, and then we're going to break it down. We got plenty of time. Make sure you settled in. We got a great show still left in this program. Fellas, similar question here. Next game, San Francisco 49ers at the Los Angeles Rams. Over-under is 45.5. 3.5 points is the spread, obviously being the Rams as the home team favorites. I'm not going to ask the same question. I'm going to ask a similar question. Let's keep the quarterbacks aside for a second. As a unit, Vic. So this time you could talk about the beef if you so choose, which I'm sure you will. I'm talking wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, offensive line. Are you taking the Rams offensive unit or the 49ers offensive unit, quarterbacks aside?
Damn, Mo. Shit.
You
and
don't know what you're doing? You don't know what you're doing? Because I know what I'm doing.
I know what I'm going to do. So you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. Give me Deebo Samuels.
Okay.
And give me the left tackle.
Remember, you don't have to take two players. I'm taking.
No, you're taking the whole unit.
Taking the whole unit.
Oh, the whole unit. Okay,
I'm the whole
49ers
unit.
then. Give me the 49ers then. I'll go to 49ers side. What they're doing with Deebo is incredible. Putting the left tackle in motion the other day, so now he's considered a skilled position player if he's moving. All right, let's so that I don't know why the running back didn't go behind him in that play, but that was fun to watch. They put Trent on a little motion, little sift, as they like to call it, to the right side. The running play didn't exactly go towards him, but we'll see the kind of adjustments they do. The 49ers need to do exactly what they've been doing all season, show their power, show their strength up front, kind of something what the Bucs should have been doing in the beginning of that game last week, and kind of just control that, because if that pass rush gets to a hot start, they're going to give Jimmy a lot of problems. But definitely controlling the clock with the running backs, with Deebo, doing all the different things that he's able to do. His vision is unbelievable, better than a lot of running backs in this league. Use them. I just hope that they're healthy and ready for this game, because they have a good chance to go 3-0 this season. He brings the players, but then he acts like we'd be like, nah, Germ, he ain't shit.
No, I'm just saying.
I said Deebo is good. He's just a running back, and he's showing that he's a running back.
Bro,
all right.
Germ starts scouting for the draft like the day after we do our draft. Yeah. He's like, oh, I told y'all first about him. Yeah, no shit, you did.
Saying he was a running back, he's a receiver stuck in a running back's body, and he's doing exactly that. He's a damn good receiver. I give him credit for that too.
Hell yeah.
This is what's so dope about this. This is what's so dope about this. My guys, Odell Landry and my guy Deebo Samuels, are both in Championship Sunday.
Front and center too.
I stood up for these dudes, and I've been preaching since day one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with all that being said, it's the 49ers, and it's really not close, right? When it comes to
I like it. All right, I like it.
Because tackle to tackle, we talking Mike McGlinchey, Trent. Trent is still one of the two best left tackles in the world. Like,
100%.
Bro, it is what it is. Alex Mack is Mr. Reach Block himself. Let's talk about that. Alex Mack is made a career of being one of the best blocking, educational, communication-based centers we have ever seen. Like that was a Eric Mangini pick in the Cleveland Browns era, bro. That was his best pick, dog. That dude, he is that dude like that. He is sensational for what they do with that running game. And see, this is what y'all don't understand. With him being able to reach block and get to the next level so well, when they do that little pitch that gets you right in the C gap, his gap is one of the lanes that we can go because he gets to the second level so great. Bro, that is different. That's different type of beef that they got in Frisco. Get me a patty melt in Frisco, baby. Because it is. You got the layers, and you got the cheese, and you got the beef, baby. The beef. So look,
hey,
Deebo,
you preaching?
Ayuk, man. Now, Vic, we talked about Ayuk because we didn't say he was a first round pick, but we thought he had a lot of talent.
Right. Ayuk
gives you so much, like in the passing game, because he can run the deep overs precisely. It doesn't take him anything. Like these are routes. Anything that's deep or longer than 5 or 6 yards, he's going to run those routes better. That complements Deebo so well. That complements George Kittle. We haven't even talked about George Kittle yet.
No.
And bro, that's baby Gronk.
100%.
They need a healthy Kittle though.
I mean, but bro, even if he's not fully healthy, he's still a dominant run blocker.
He's ready. I think he's ready to go today. I think he's ready to rock today.
Like, so if you're looking at it, you're looking at Deebo and him. And then, bro, San Francisco had Mostert. They had Trey Sermon from Ohio State this year, who they brought in. Elijah Mitchell, former Jet. is balling. That means when you put you could put anybody behind that offensive line, and they're gonna have a chance to be good. They're gonna have a chance to be dominant. So it has to be the 49ers for me by default because they just have so much talent across them. They don't have a weakness if you just go to a base package. Even in their 12 personnel, the backup tight end comes in and does a good job.
The blocker.
So when they go to more of 11 personnel, you know what I'm saying? One tight end, one running back. When they go to that and they bring in the third receiver's good. You know what I'm saying? He may be the better route runner between him and Ayuk in some small areas, short areas, and things like that. So it's definitely the 49ers. The Rams don't have the same beef. They're good beef, but that's not that patty melt with the cheese, with the nice grilled cheese bread and everything. Like, it's not the same, baby.
What's the injury report on Andrew Whitworth? That's gonna be,
We'll get to that.
All my Frisco people, Frisco people, I want y'all to start singing it with me for our boy E4E follow all of Fintang. I want to be saved. Let's go, because let's go.
Once again, shout out to everybody in the comment section. We'll see you in there. Great energy so far today, fellas. Fantastic show so far. We're going 3-0 here. I'm definitely taking the San Francisco 49ers for all the reasons you guys said. I mean, Debo, Kittle, that O-line, that's really as far as we need.
That's a Curry round for those who didn't know.
Oh, yep, there you go. So let's swing it back around now. Let's kind of wrap things up with the hires. We're going to go hires, breakdown of the games fully, and then we got a little tribute to a quarterback who actually did retire as we close out this show. Back to the hires, fellas. Rapid fire on these next two. You got the Denver Broncos. They hired offensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers, Nathaniel Hackett. And obviously, Vic, you got the rumors that Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, self-proclaimed Jordan and Pippen. Apparently, no wonder Jordan and Pippen are having all these problems because they got this negative energy around their friendship in the spiritual universe. Whatever. So the Broncos hired Nathaniel Hackett as their head coach. And then the Bears, I know this had to upset my brother Lester Stewart. The Bears hired Matt Eberflus to be their head coach, former defensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts. I'm not saying it's a bad hire. It's not the right hire. And so I don't understand how they feel they can develop a roster, develop a young quarterback with hiring somebody who's strictly a defensive guy. But I guess it just remains to be seen. So real quick, fellas, on those two hires, your thoughts.
So, Chicago, they went and they hired a defensive guy. And they didn't hire somebody to help on offense, right? So what are we going to do for our second-year quarterback that we just drafted in the top 20?
Better be a big offensive coordinator.
Well, you're asking yourself in so many words, what offensive coordinators out there that you're going to come in here and make a change or an adjustment with? You would have to damn near bring in a guy like from the head coaching, the head coaching ranks of college, or bring back Bill O'Brien or somebody like that to try to help this kid, because ultimately Nagy was the offensive coordinator, the offensive mind, and the head coach. So that's the thing here. What's the philosophy going to turn into? What are we going to be starting to run? What are we going to pay attention to? So I don't know, man. I don't really know what you're looking. I don't know what you're trying to do, bro. I just don't know I don't know the purpose. I don't know the purpose. And what I'm seeing more and more is the front offices sometimes are inept in certain things. So let's see if somebody like Sean Payton decides that they would like to be in a secondary role in Chicago. That would be a good potential hire if he wanted it. But Chicago, we got to do better than this. Come on, man. You got a second-year quarterback.
I agree.
You got to bring
100%.
if you're going to bring in a quarterback, bro, and I hate to say it like this, you kind of have to marry your quarterback and your offensive coordinator together for at least a 4-year period, bro. Yeah. And that's what we're getting right now with the Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and Pat Mahomes thing. with Deshaun, he at least did have Bill, and Bill O'Brien is, say what you want to say about him as a head coach, as an offensive mind, he is pretty damn good. And then look at Brady's first couple of years with Charlie Weiss. He was married to Charlie Weiss for those first 4 years, and that helped shape some of his career. So, I mean, you want these things to be like this, and I know everybody can't get that, but if you got a young quarterback, bro, you got to marry him to a guy. You gotta put him in wedlock with the right type of guys, and that's gonna be just kind of is what it is.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Rodgers and McCarthy.
But Rodgers and McCarthy, but you know what? LaFleur was even better for A-Rod. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, look at McVay.
It's just the consistency, though.
McVay with golf. And now with Matt Stafford, like the league, the things that's all across the league. And what you're noticing by locking in with that type of relationship where you have a guy that you're saying, I'm gonna commit. The commitment in itself is the wedlock part of it that makes the most sense. You can't, in a relationship like this, you need to have open communication. So when a quarterback sees something, he has to go to the offensive coordinator and they have to be able to see it together. That's what makes these things so unique when you see these offenses that are at historic paces. I mean, hell, Mo, we talked about it all the time. Peyton Manning, when he was with Jim Moore would call 3 plays in. Wow, Peyton didn't even used to call his line protection because he had Jeff Saturdays. Jeff Saturdays understood what was going on in front of him. He's seen the game from the eyes of a quarterback. So you look at Pat, you look at Peyton, you look at Brady, look at these elite quarterbacks. You had to put them with somebody so that they could develop. And even when you do it with young quarterbacks, Jimmy even had Jimmy Garoppolo even was able to connect with McDaniels. And now he has Kyle. Say what we want to say about Kyle Shanahan, bro. Kyle Shanahan is probably the best run coordinating coach we have ever seen. His running concepts are some of the best. The way he sets you up with blocks, the way he creates lanes, the way he creates things is different. Yeah. And Andy Reid may be one of the most creative with some of the passing concepts, being able to use the West Coast system, which is a little bit more focused on the 15-yard and back situation. And now he's integrated air raid concepts with that. Like, that innovation is 2 totally separate levels of attacking a defense, and he's put them together. Like, you're marrying, you see the segment of this is marriage. Marrying 2 concepts like this and coming together, it makes it lethal. So the one entity protects the other entity and makes this entity much better and that entity much better. So I'm here for this, man.
I hear you.
We got X.
It's going. Just Jerm kind of like touched on everything in terms of the Bears situation. As far as the Broncos situation, just talk to me.
Let me piggyback off of that a little bit. What's interesting about the Eberflus thing is that the Bears are going to have to change from, so on top of the fact that you're not having your quarterback necessarily, they're going to have to change from a 3-4 to a 4-3. Remember that they've been running the Fangio 3-4 system. Right. So even though you might have the Quinn and Khalil Mack who can play down on a 4-3, that's a little bit of a change right now defensively that you're also going to be going through scheme-wise, which makes this hiring a little bit more questionable, in my opinion.
You know what?
Great point.
You brought that up. Mo, let me say this real quick. Even if you put, Vic, here's the funny part. Even if you put Khalil, who we know can play defensive end, and he probably is better suited to play right end, right? Left end, because, bigger guy, heavier in the britches, and then Robert play on the other side. Even with that versatility that they have there, the piece that makes that defense the most intriguing, is the middle linebacker. Because the middle linebacker can play in any defense. He can play bigger for them. Can play in any defense. Now,
absolutely.
What beef are you going to put in front of him, and what guys are you going to put next to him? Because you took away those guys. That's going to be the Bears' biggest thing. Is going to be finding the linebackers that complement their superstar and finding the secondary pieces that at least can help them. Because otherwise, that defense is starting to go down because you got Eddie doing everything in a secondary that's in shambles.
So Vic, just to move on from this point here and talk about the Broncos hire real quick. Nathaniel Hackett, rather, of going to the Denver Broncos. Rumor has it Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers are going to the Denver Broncos. So if this comes together, this marriage, this arranged marriage, seemingly, talk to me about how that it all fits with the pieces that Denver already has there now.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I would have to look in deeper just to get more accurate, give more accurate information in terms of the scheme. No. So if Devontae is able to go over there, that they're gonna basically be able to bring that short game. Short game where they can, extend the deep passing game from that. Go ahead, John.
You got Alberto, you got Noah Fant. That's the first. Let's start there. You got the two-headed monster also at tailback with Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon. That right there is a perfect start for any quarterback.
Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton. You still got Deshaun Hamilton or Hamlin, whatever his name is from Penn State. They have
They have a lot of
weapons. Well. Tim Jennings, I think he's a junior, but you got Tim Jennings as well.
Which they extended him to a 4-year contract. So, there's quite a few pieces there. It'll be interesting to see if they want to spend the money on Devontae because he's looking, if I'm not mistaken, Jerm, you said up to $25 million.
No, he's looking per season. I heard he's looking for a Curry round. He looking for a $30 million contract. I heard he looking for a Curry contract.
Devontae?
Yeah. And
as far as I know, Hackett and Rodgers have a much better.
Okay, KG, you said Hamilton ain't there no more. Okay, cool. All right, I didn't know if he was still there, but I thought he was still on the roster last time I checked.
Tim Patrick was the one with the 4-year.
That's what I'm talking about when I said Patrick. But Patrick, Jeudy, and Sutton, that's still 3 solid receivers to build off of, and you can always bring in more guys. Like the receiver position is deep. Vic, we talk about every year, bro. The receiver position is deep, and we just keep bringing in more guys.
Well, I mean, the thing is, he has Rodgers has a better relationship with Hackett than he did with LaFleur. You know what I mean? So I think they'll be able to bring a good connection. It's just, to me, the division is too tough. Hey, the division is too tough. That's going to be different.
Personally, I hope it happens because I think Denver is a great opportunity for Aaron Rodgers and Devontae to go there. I think it could. They go into the AFC. Yes, they are going to the tough division, but if you look at it, and it really comes down to what it comes down to, all of a sudden you got Rodgers, Brady, and Breeze out the NFC again. So, hey, the AFC is going to be stacked with quarterbacks, and it'll be interesting to see what can happen out of it. But as far as this hire is concerned, it seems like it's all coming together. It all makes sense.
And that's without knowing what's going to happen with Jimmy and Russ coming out of the NFC.
But you get
don't know. See, that's what I'm saying.
Like Russ might end up going to the AFC. Dog. You know, because
that's what Russ I'm saying.
Might end up going to the AFC because there's talks about him going to the Giants, but the Giants, John Mara, he shut that down. They hired Brian Dable, who was a quarterback. Brian Dable started as a tight ends coach for the Patriots. Moved up. He was kind of like Brian Flores, just kind of moved, had all kind of, there goes my coffee, had all kind of imaginary jobs on the offensive unit. Then he was the OC for Alabama. He's been the OC for Josh Allen for the last few years. I think this is the right hire. If you're the New York Giants, this is the right type of hire. You bring in a guy who's had success. He's worked with Tom Brady, and he's also had success working with Josh Allen, which is what's most important to John Mara and the New York Giants. So that's a great hire there. One more potential hire in place, fellas, and then we'll get to the games. Touch on this just briefly. I'm bringing this up because I know Germ So True is going to want to talk about this greatly. He may not even know what's going on. He may, I don't know. The rumors on the streets out of Duval County is that the Jacksonville Jaguars have an agreement in place to hire Byron Leftwich as their head coach. However, Byron said the only way he is taking that job is if Trent Baalke is fired. And so right there is an example of what Jeremy, yes, I said Jeremy, was talking about a few weeks ago. right or wrong, whether you agree with what Leftwich is doing, I think Leftwich is in a position where he recognizes the job he has now is pretty damn good and it's trending upwards. So he has that cachet that Jerm was talking about. And here he is trying to accept the job on his terms. Kudos to him. Jerm, your thoughts?
All I'm saying is, man, we got to make sure if we take a job that we get the things that we need. This is about needs at the end of the day. We need to be able to feed our family. We need a job that we can be secure in. We need to make sure that we're able to properly do our job. So we need to make sure we have the proper PPE to be able to execute our job effectively. So equipment or players are very, very important in this situation. If you're in Jacksonville, the most important thing about Jacksonville is this. You have some pieces in certain areas. You still got DJ Chark. You still got the running back, James Robinson. You have two signature pieces right there that you can be able to build around. You don't need a lot on offense. What you need something to start with. Same thing goes with defense. You got Josh. You still got Miles Jack. You brought in the other Griffin for your cornerback spot. That's a nice starting foundation for what you have. Byron, I just wonder about the quarterback. Is this quarterback somebody that you're willing to go to war with the next 4 years? Because ultimately, that's what this is about now. You don't have a guy that you're going to go in and say he can adapt to what I can do, because that's how good Tom was. He could adapt to whatever it is that you wanted to do. Trevor, you have to focus on the things that he does well. And we're still trying to figure out what that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the thing here that makes this a hard hire, in my opinion. I would rather stay with the Bucs, who I'm pretty much kind of immortal with, because I was the offensive coordinator of our Super Bowl winning team. I would stay with this team. I would see if that's where I could go. I would promote Todd Bowles to the assistant head coach. He would be my second in command. I would keep the rest of my coaching staff. I would bring up one of my guys from my offensive coordinator staff, and then we would go from there.
Absolutely.
I would literally stay where I am. I wouldn't mess this up because I don't have any reason to.
No, and I think it's a great job by Byron, like you said. He's got the cachet. Like Flores didn't when he got hired by Miami, but when you got the cachet, absolutely, you flex your chest as we wait for Vic to make his way back. But let's get into the games, Jerm. I'm sure Vic will be back soon enough. We can start with the Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs. Both of these teams, this sort of seemed inevitable at some point. The talks is, Mahomes and Allen was Brady versus Manning. In my humble opinion, Jerm, just looking at the skills of these two quarterbacks, I say this is our Manning versus Brady right here. You got two of the best from anywhere you want. I think these two quarterbacks are going to be the standard for modern quarterbacks moving forward. I don't think it's going to be Lamar Jackson. I don't think it's going to be Josh Allen. Cam Newton and Colin Kaepernick sort of were the people that helped it, like, okay, can we make this transition? Well, we can, but there needs to be a balance. And I think you look at Mahomes and Burrow, I think they are the perfect balance because they are passers first. But then when they take off, you're like, damn, they kind of got some speed to them. So to me, we got our first future Manning versus Brady matchup today. Like we said, over-under is 54. Chiefs is -7. Everybody's healthy, Jerm. Everybody's good to go, Jerm, including the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. I think when I look at this game, the most important thing to me is obviously the quarterbacks, yes, but to me, and this is going to be the theme of the day, pressure. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Pressure, when it is applied, will either make diamonds or will crush you. And I think we got two gem of a games happening today. And pressure, 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 pressure. No beef, no Lombardi. That's why we talk about it. Pressure is going to be the most important part of both of these games, but certainly in these games, because if you remember, Germ, in the first matchup, when the Chiefs were kind of close, they were close. They were going to tie it up or take the lead. I can't remember the situation, but it was the end of the game, and the Bengals brought pressure twice and ended up being the ultimate difference in that game as the Bengals held on for probably their biggest win of the season. Can they repeat it? How will they repeat it? Let's get to it as Vic Jr. jumps back on. Take it away, Germ.
First of all, Jorge, you are a fool. I just want you to know. He said that the hamster fell off the wheel and he had to change the hamster. But then Vic comes back in another location. Again, he's
power went out. Oh, damn.
Oh, man, that's deep. Oh, God. Y'all are just terrible.
The worst.
Look, man, it's not a lot that needs to be said about the game, bro. It kind of is what it is. You got two explosive, dynamic offenses. You got a lot of great players that are going to be a part of this game. Now it's time to see which team is going to be able to counterpunch. The counterpunch has to be from Kansas City, and you want it to be from Kansas City. But if I'm Kansas City, it's two things that I can't do. I can't allow myself to be in a situation where I do not run the football in this game. I have to try to run the football. That's something that's working for me that I have to continue to do. The other thing that I have to do is I don't have to win this game the same way that I think I have to win that we won last week. We can win this game with a balanced attack because Cincinnati does have a line that can be moved on both sides of the ball.
Facts.
So let's get back to the basics. Let's get back in the trenches and let's focus there. The winner of the trench match in a playoff game is going to be the winner of the game, unless you get a superstar performance from the quarterback. And that's what we got last week from Joe Burrow.
For both of them.
Well, what I'm saying from the line perspective, Joe outdid himself. He came and he showed he had arrived. So Joe, it's time to have that next signature performance. I'm gonna go today. It's one of those situations, man. Pat Mahomes, right? Pat Mahomes is in a situation where he is the AFC gatekeeper currently. He has won 4 years in a row at least one playoff game to get to the AFC championship game. He is Mr. Championship Sunday AFC style in the AFC since he's been the starting quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. With that being said, he is El Capitan at the new quarterback position that we are speeding like a torpedo, headed for the future. That is the guy, 15. So today, I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow. Why? Because Joe Burrow is going to establish himself in this league as the next big thing. Joey B and Cincinnati 23-20. Let's go.
Interesting. Vic, so I'm glad you guys settled back in. Look like you about to drop the hottest mixtape of the year right now. One thing we talked about, I think we both talked about it, both me and Germ, quarterback and the trenches. To me, pressure is going to be the theme of the day. Germ talked about it, but unless these quarterbacks come out and just be absolute superstars, nothing else really matters. And, we know how that goes. Take it away, Vic. Your thoughts on this game from what can decide it? How can the Bengals beat them again? What can the Chiefs do differently? Everybody's playing, by the way. You missed the injury report. Everybody's playing.
So everybody's healthy.
Everybody's healthy.
This is a tough one. Try to be as objective as possible. As excited I am for the Bengals, this run. The players that they have on that roster. I do think that the Chiefs are just still the hotter team, I want to say. I think that all things are just connecting for them right now. Between Kelsey, Hill, and Pat Mahomes, I think it's just basically unstoppable. They're protecting Mahomes a lot better than they were last year at this time. We all remember the kind of things that Pat had to go through last year at this time. So, the protection is there. I think that the Chiefs still win this game. Obviously I'm hoping for the Bengals, but I think the Chiefs win this game. I think it'll be 31-27.
I like that score.
It's at home. It's just so many things going against the Bengals right now, in terms of how locked in the Chiefs are offensively. Like I said, Creed Humphrey has been outstanding. He shouldn't have any issues with the defensive tackles there. The key is going to be Trey Hendricks against Orlando Brown. That's going to be key, and see how disruptive Trey Hendrickson can be. Again, I see you laughing because I know Jorge talking mad shit over there. Probably.
No,
but
Ham said he looked like he in the booth with Big Tigger.
Yo, shout out to BT in the booth. Oh my God, yo, those were the days.
He took me out, bro. I'm gone.
Oh God,
man.
Yeah, I don't know. The power went out after the storm, which is I don't know what's going on. We're gonna find out upstairs in a minute, but just the Chiefs. I'm gonna try to be as objective as possible, Mo. I think the Chiefs pull this off.
Yeah.
What I hope is an entertaining game.
I agree. I hope it is an entertaining game.
This game should be like great. Like this, the first game was great. It was a tale of two halves, right? Yeah, 17 points in the two halves for Kansas City.
Right.
Excuse me, for the Bengals, and then Kansas City didn't score because Cincinnati made some adjustments at halftime that helped them be able to contain them, and that's the key here, man. This team is going to score points, bro. You're not gonna stop them from scoring points. You just got to be able to weather the storm, stay the course, and be yourself. Be what got you here. And I believe that Joe Burrow is the quarterback that personifies, I am who I said I am.
Yeah.
And that's what you need in playoff scenarios. I am who I said I am quarterbacks. You don't need these imaginary players.
No, and another key for me is I don't think the Chiefs will get 9 sacks necessarily in this game, but I think that they'll get like situational pass rush, situational situations where they're gonna make an impact when it matters most. You know what I mean? So I think the Chiefs get like 4 sacks in this game where it's gonna be significant to a certain situation. Like it could be a 3rd and 9 that they can, somebody's open that Joe sees, but the pass rush will be there. I think that's what's gonna happen in this game. The Chiefs are just gonna have a much better situational plays.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest point there, Vic, is I don't think either of these offenses are going to be stopped. I don't think either of these quarterbacks are going to be stopped. I think they're going to come in there on a mission. I think they're going to put on a show. But I think at the end of the day, the defense is going to make that big difference play. And I think the Chiefs defense are going to make that big difference play. Give me the Chiefs to win this game. And Mahomes back to the Super Bowl. I'm going Chiefs 35-33. Next game, and this is going to be hey, man, when you got to play a team 3 times in one season, it's different. It's different, and it rarely happens. Well, the San Francisco 49ers are about to do that twice in one postseason. They are going on the road against the Rams over under 45.5, plus minus 3.5. The Rams are home favorites. Again, yes, the quarterback play is going to matter, but the theme of the day is pressure. And if you ask me, I think Todd Bowles let Matt Stafford off the hook last week. And I don't think the 49ers are going to make that same mistake. And it's going to be very interesting to see how Matt Stafford navigates against this defense when in that fourth quarter, when it's tight, when you need a throw, when you need a play, when you absolutely need it, and the 49ers stick to what they stick to. Can Matt Stafford make a throw is going to be a question that needs answered by the end of this game. Vic, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Odell Beckham is going to be key here. I think that the 49ers have done a good job defensively kind of containing Cooper.
If I'm not mistaken, he had a 7-catch and an 11-catch game, no scores. I think that's going to be kind of the thing. Huh?
I think he did get some scores in those games.
He got one score, or how many?
I think I can check that right now while you're talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, check that, because I think that, basically if you got a situation where he's getting 10 to 12 catches and over 150 yards with a touchdown, I think that means you kind of have no control of the game flow right now, because I think that Odell on the outside is going to be key to get any deep routes that he can get, whether it's a post, whether it's a fly, outside the numbers. Matt Stafford has been throwing the ball accurately a little bit more as the season gone along. So, that's going to be key. In terms of the 49ers, again, 12 personnel, 13 personnel, show how physical you are of a football team, using all the running backs with Debo, with Elijah, definitely pounding the rock and controlling the clock. Some Trent Williams on whatever they want to use with him. I am for it. All of that, Germ. So
with that being said, 11 for 122 and no scores in the first game, and that's the game that they got blown out 31-10. And in the close game, he had 7 for 118 and a touchdown.
Okay, so he scored on the second game. So I mean, just basically, whether it's bracket coverage, triangle coverage, meaning you have 3 guys in some sort of triangle formation around some of the locations that they like to put Cooper Kupp. That's some of the things that you can try to do to contain them. But ultimately, I think that the 49ers, I know for a fact that they're going to come out physically because they have to, with the physical game, unlike the Bucs should have done last week. I think that the 49ers will be able to control this game, and a tight game. I am going to go with the 49ers as hard as it is, because I think the Rams are very hot offensively, and with their pass rush. I think that the 49ers will be able to control this game, and it's going to be a 23-20 game for the 49ers, taking the win.
I like it, Germ.
Look, I don't even care about Cooper at this stage anymore, because what I'm starting to notice is he's going to get his numbers regardless. What you need to do is stop the running game, contain the play action, and make sure nobody else is getting involved when it comes down to it. Make them kick 3s and not get 7s. And you're going to have a chance in this particular situation. Yeah. The Rams have lost every game this year that a team has beaten them in the trenches or beaten them or hit them in the mouth. Yeah. San Francisco every week hits you in the mouth. That's just the one thing that's going to be consistent. Consistency is the key. Consistency is the successful thing here that we will talk about today. The one thing that is consistent is Deebo Samuels is the best player on the field when it comes to position players in this particular game. He is the catalyst for their success. If you can't find a way to stop him, Elijah Mitchell with him, that combination, they're going to run for 150 to 200 yards today against this Rams front. Von Miller, you had a good run, bro. I'm with you. Congratulations. This is where it stops. Aaron Donald, get ready to get hit in the mouth. We got Reach Block Central coming up. I plan to see a lot of those pitch plays today with a lot of 4-way goals, because it's nothing that the Rams can do to stop this offensive line when they get to moving forward. Look, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say it. Stafford, you have proven that you are a very, very good quarterback. You've proven that you're a good quarterback this year. Proven that you deserve to be in the top 15 in the NFL, top 10.
Hell maybe. Yeah, maybe.
But, however, you also show me that you are not who you say you are on a consistent basis. And that is where it stops. Jimmy Garoppolo is who he is, even in wins and losses. And that is what we have to understand. He's going to make those risky throws. So as long as Jimmy doesn't turn the ball over, this team is going to be in a good spot. Give me San Francisco. Let's complete this sweep. Physical, physical, physical. I'm talking hit them in the mouth. Today, over under for the entire day will not go over 85 points. I'm looking at some slugfest and some adjustments. Give me San Francisco by the score of 24-20. I think we have a situation on hand here. Excuse me. Give me 22-20.
Okay.
22-20.
This game is hard to pick. Like the Chiefs Bengals, I'll be honest with y'all fellas, I had my mind made up last week on who was going to win that game. Just being truthful. This one, somebody asked me at 11:30 who I got. I said, find out at 1:30 when we go live. And as we're talking about it, my mind is, I know I got my pick. I made my pick before we went live. But as I'm about to announce it, I'm like, are you sure this is where you want to go with it? Because on the one hand, this is the third time they go. Clearly, the Rams have the better quarterback. On the other hand, it's not going to be negative 17 degrees and playing on bricks this week. You know, it's not going to be those conditions. It's going to be beautiful today. They're playing in Hollywood, baby. Lights, camera, action. Like, there is a part of me that says this game is going to be 13-10 because they're playing 3 times in a row. Both these defenses seem to be peaking, but yet the Rams offense seems to be peaking. The 49ers offense seems to be gelling at the very best time. Where is this game going to go? So I'm going to keep it as simple can. When that train's moving and you see Big Shot, we coming. The blue and gold express, baby. It is rolling. It has been rolling from week 1, and you cannot stop it. We got luxury lounges. We got Gouda cheese. Okay, we ain't got regular mild cheddar. We got Gouda cheese in the blue and yellow express germ. Von Miller seems to be healthy. Odell Beckham balling. Matt Stafford balling. That defense is ready to rock. That defense is ready to roll.
Nick, this round is really shaky.
The Rams to win this game today. Give me the Rams 24-20, LA. We got 10 minutes to kick off, 15 out of the. So what we're going to do tomorrow, we will be going live 7:30 Eastern, maybe 8:30 Eastern, probably 8:30 Eastern, because it seems like last time that was we had more viewers at about the 8:30, 9 o'clock slot. We will have our tribute to Big Ben then, because I don't want to rush it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Germ, closing thoughts before we wrap it up.
Y'all better enjoy this championship week because this is what we signed up for. This is where we are.
Hey, Tanya, I'm gonna be unbearable if the Rams win. You wait till the Super Bowl show. Vic, closing thoughts.
I'm gonna be unbearable too because if the Rams win,
Stop
I'm not
lying.
watching Super Bowl.
Stop lying about Odell's production because he ain't doing shit. It's the same shit he was doing in Cleveland.
Stop being in denial about it. Stop being in denial about it.
He had four catches for like 50 yards. It's the same thing.
Four significant catches that actually matter, that actually lead into wins. You cannot deny the contributions Odell Beckham has made to this football team. Hey, you can't deny it.
Mo, you better chill out because Vic already looked like he in The Exorcist. Don't piss him off.
I see that. Mira.
All
right.
Cooper Cup.
Fellas.
Cooper Cup.
Enjoy the games, everybody. God bless. We love you. I can't wait for these. It's just 2 phenomenal matchups. Take us home, True.
22.